Live with Galaxy. And we'll be ready in a few moments, and we will start the show. Let's make sure the technology works in a few moments. That's a good sign. There we go. Let's make sure. We'll be ready in a few moments, and I think we'll begin. Lady Chelsea, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you feeling this fine morning?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Oh, good. Well, I can always testify. I'm looking out on London, and it looks good. I can see the sun rays just rising above the horizon.
Yeah.
It's a golden red sun, I think. Golden red sun. You understand what I mean? You know, it has this richness about them, you know? I feel so blessed, Lady Chelsea. I feel so blessed. Huh? Wow. I feel so good. In fact, I'm feeling better as I speak. Huh? Oh my gosh. We're alive, Lady Chelsea. Yeah?
Yeah.
We can make a difference. Huh? That's true, isn't it? Huh?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So let's start the show. So I welcome everyone to the Motivator show, alongside, of course, Her Royal Highness. Hey, Lady Chelsea.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Good. Oh, the power of the youth, huh? The power of the youth, huh? Okay, the lovely, fresh voice, Lady Chelsea. Thank you.
Oh,
we are blessed to have you with us, huh? We are blessed, okay? Right. Let me also, of course, let's recognize the Iron King, who, of course, has taken us from night to day to welcome in this beautiful sunrise here in London. Oh, it is so beautiful. Lady Chelsea, I could become romantic at this point, huh? Oh, what do you mean? Huh? Oh, it is so beautiful. Huh? Wow. Oh my gosh, it is beautiful. I have to say. Oh, I put one in such a good mood, you know? I feel so empowered, Lady Chelsea. Oh, okay, let's start the show. Be proper, huh? Let's go. First of all, of course, Lady Chelsea, we should recognize the Galaxy management. Let's recognize those visionary leaders. Chipa Bai, yeah, the founder and visionary leader of Galaxy Radio. Huh? Elder Erikute, yeah. Abu Ratata, the Dr. Man. And Nickel, of course, the most royal. What a name, huh? I love that name. I love that name. But never forgetting the solutions finder, Empress Shanice. And I can assure you, folks, she finds solutions and advances us to heights yet to be achieved. We're still moving upwards. Huh? We're still moving upwards. I'm so proud to be associated with Empress Shanice. But never forgetting that other sister, visionary leader, who we've had on the show on a number of occasions, yeah? Ndidi Eshenwa. And she reminds us that Galaxy, just like Africa's natural wealth, is not the people in Galaxy, or indeed Africa's natural wealth that's important. It's the creativity, the ideas, the forward thinking of the people of Galaxy that push this station forward. And as regards the continent of Africa, It's not the natural resources, it's the technologies, the ideas, the technologies, and of course, the medicines, the ideas, the philosophies, the astrologies that comes out of Africa that truly makes Africa the pinnacle of humankind. Yeah. Isn't that true?
Yeah.
That's what makes us far more substantial, both as a station and as a people. We've got to believe that. Let the naysayers, let the negative pronouncers go to one side. Let's focus on the positive. Let's focus on that which we can achieve. Yeah? And not worry about that which we're not able to achieve right now. Because one day we will. Forward-thinking, broad-minded, creative, innovative. Never allow inertia to take over. Because inertia means no progress, and that means death. And that is not an option. Life always, growth always, aspirations always. And through those philosophies, achievement is always possible. Praise be, praise be. Long may you could all stay strong, healthy and determined. That's what I say. So I'll give praise to the Galaxy management and all those pilots who are associated with this station. And indeed, those of you who are listening right now, who are up early and are listening right now, I say unto you all, praise Jah, Rastafari, may you always stay strong and powerful. Long may you go forward. Yeah, that's what I want to hear. Long may you go forward. Okay, Lady Chelsea.
Yeah.
I was challenged this week. Okay. And I was challenged in a way that I must say was quite interesting.
Mm-hmm.
The question is still being posed to me. Why do I spend so much time discussing health at the beginning of my show?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And I know, and you know, I'm in politics. Patience is virtuous, I've found. Okay, so I was very patient with this person, but I realized, you know, in order to change your behavior, okay, you've got to experience a positive. You've got to experience an alternative way repeatedly, so you can incorporate it as part of your thinking, part of your consciousness. Okay, so I was very patient, very patient.
Yeah.
And it was actually a young couple. It's a young couple, you know, and you know, they felt that I think they felt it initially that it was unnecessary. You know.
To say
So I just had to remind them of the statistics. Despite the fact that the statistics are not being regularly repeated in the BBC, the ITV, or the Sky, Virgin, or the other media outlets, okay? Reparations, I pointed out them, starts with self.
Yeah. So they do everything.
Repair, yeah, repair, yeah. And that repair is a conscious decision that we make for ourselves. Okay, and it usually starts with there's a presenter, a pilot here on Galaxy Radio by the name of Dr. Stephen Fergus. It was a bit controversial, but you know what? I like people who are a bit controversial. You know, he says, your health is your wealth.
Yeah.
Yep. Common sense, really, isn't it? When you think about it.
Yeah.
Your health is your wealth. So if you do not take care of your health, you are much poorer. Important lesson to remember. Important lesson. But it's just really common sense. Yeah, it really is common sense. So, of course, I reminded this couple that we have almost epidemic levels of diabetes in our community. Epidemic levels of diabetes in our community. Can you imagine? I'm actually saying it out loud. We have epidemic levels of diabetes and hypertension, that's high blood pressure, in our community. True, other people are not saying it from the mountaintops. That's true. It is necessary for us to look at the statistics, and we have plus 20% of a local population with a specific disease, not only for 1 year or even 5 years, but for 10, 15, 20 years. That is the definition of an epidemic. Yeah? It has long-lasting consequences for that community. We have abnormally high levels of people being overweight. Okay. Now, some people might say, that it's people just need to get out and take more exercise. Often, people just need to be reminded that exercise is important, and good diet, of course, is important. Okay, diabetes, hypertension, overweight, or if you like the technical term, obesity in our community is abnormally high. And we still have abnormally high levels of mental health conditions in the community, above the national average.
Oh, okay.
So if we don't talk about it amongst ourselves, why should we expect others to talk about these conditions for us? Huh?
Yeah.
That's why I emphasize to this couple, it is necessary to discuss these matters. But the source of much of this is about how we take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
So exercising one's body and calming and preparing one's mind for the days, and seeking help when you're troubled, promotes good physical, mental, and of course, spiritual health. And if there's not an obligation on people like ourselves, Lady Chelsea, that is to promote good physical, mental, and spiritual health. I believe after that, they got the message.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure. I know that they're listening. Apparently they listen early. So, from 8 o'clock, I was impressed, So I'm going to give out those messages, okay?
Yeah.
Thank you. I ask people, those who are listening and those who listen to the recordings of this program, to consider, I'm not telling you, but to consider the amount of sugar you are ingesting into your bodies. Think of those teas and coffees. Consider those cakes, those sweet drinks that we all consume. And look at the amount of sugar, or they might dress it up as sucrose in those drinks. Many of these soft drinks have maybe 5, 6 big spoonfuls of sugar in them to make them taste sweet. Consider the amount of sugar your children are taking when they go into those sweet shops. And consider the long-term impact large amount of sugar each day has on your bodies, and indeed your minds and your general feelings of well-being. Because you think about if you're consuming 4, 5, 6 tablespoons of sugar each day for 365 days in a year, and extrapolate that over 10 years, 3,000. What's that? Come on, Lady Chelsea.
Yeah.
3,500, let's say 70 days, okay, because of the leap years, okay, over a 10-year period.
Yeah.
Quantity of sugar, that is. Maybe I should bring in one of these tubs of sugars. I'm sure I've got around here somewhere. But we've had here for a long time, Indeed. Just to demonstrate, though, Lady Chelsea. But it tastes nice
Yeah.
But excessive amount of sugar is toxic to our bodies.
Mm-hmm.
It is actually toxic. Okay, it tastes nice, but it's actually toxic to our bodies, which is why we've got specific organs in our bodies to filter out the sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it we might need, okay, some of it we might need.
Mm-hmm.
But, oh gosh, I have to say, oh gosh, if you consider carefully the cumulative impact it has on your body, it is quite profound. And diabetes and all the subsequent consequences of diabetes are rife in our communities.
Uh-huh.
And I would say every family knows of another family with a member of that family with diabetes.
Mm.
It is quite profound. That's how inset diabetes is in our community. Similarly, for hypertension, this is thoughts, of course, yeah, being the primary cause, you know, hardening of the heart arteries and the impact that has on your bodies. Okay. You see people adding salt to their food all the time, and there's absolutely no reason for us to add salt to our food for additional taste, we're told. Actually, it is not required. But I'm not saying to people, remove salt overnight from your diet. What I'm saying is gradually reduce it. Think about the quantum and think about the cumulative impact it has on your body.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Similarly, fats, you know, I talk about the meat and the white bit and all that jazz, you know, you know, and this time of year, and this is one of the themes of the show maybe today, the amount of meat we consume. Mm-hmm. Okay. It should ideally be no more, I say 10%, but I'm told by the nutritionist it should be no more than 5% comes you know, you know, or the motivator, huh? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we need to keep considering what impact, the cumulative impact of consuming excessive amount of sugar has on our bodies. And of course, similarly with carbohydrates, you know, the flour products and so on. And of course, I have to remind this couple that dairy products are simply fat derived from cows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cheese, it's just cow's fat. What? Am I wrong?
I don't think so. But,
Well, they make it from milk. Yeah.
yeah.
And milk is mostly bovine lactose, or indeed cow's lactose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the basis of cheese, isn't it?
Yeah.
And cheese, and therefore lactose, the fat in the so-called cow's milk or bovine lactose is essentially just fat.
Okay.
And that's what we make the cheese from, fat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
The milk is just really cow fat mixed with a few nutrients and so on.
Yeah.
It's a fact.
Yeah.
And most adults don't actually require bovine lactose.
Mm.
Don't need it.
Mm-hmm.
We long past it.
Okay.
Huh?
I hear you.
And all it does, and there was a professor who used to be on Organics Radio by the name of Professor Stephen Starley, Starley, forgive me, and Stephen is his son, sorry. And what's most telling, he used to tell us exactly that. Grown adults do not need bovine lactose.
Yeah.
We don't need it. Yeah, our bodies no longer need it. And it's quite a profound message for many adults out there listening. So what we're going to have with our cereals, you know, you can have Alpen or oats or other things. You definitely do not need bovine lactose, or in other words, milk. Mm-hmm. And if you are good, if you insist upon having the milk, you should really have wholly skimmed milk, you know. But they take out as much as possible the fat. Because the fat that accumulates in your body, and that's the source of the damage that the fat causes to your body. Okay. And for this couple, they didn't believe. I wasn't believed. Do you know what they did? Being a youngster like yourself, they got their mobile phones out and Googled it. And once Google confirmed what I said, they said, "Oh, you're right, because Google said so."
Well, it's better than look than just believe anybody. So.
This is true. I hear you. I hear you. I'm not doing down Google, of course. I found it amusing.
Yeah.
And what was important, though, at least they were sufficiently attentive enough to go away and research. I wasn't telling them. I asked them to consider. They went away to verify. Once they realized what I'd said, not only did it make sense, but was actually true, they concluded, okay, maybe we should think about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we should think about this. But I also reminded them, of course, as the nutritionist would tell me, we must increase the amount of fruits and vegetables that we're taking into our bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? That should be the major part of our diet. Yeah, if we can exclude meat, better still. I haven't quite got there yet, as you know, but I'm trying to get there. Gradually, over time, reducing the amount of meat in my diet. Okay, fruits and vegetables are our mainstay, and a whole range of vegetables are incredibly helpful to our bodies. Okay, that is what we should be consuming. But most critically, as you know, Lady Chelsea, exercise. Exercise is mission critical. Yeah, you should exercise. Okay, I'm not allowed to say 5 minutes a day. Apparently, you should exercise at least 15 minutes a day. Okay. Now doesn't need to be vigorous at first. Over time, you develop your own vigor. What is right for you, but you must do something other than work. Other than work. It's important to exercise. Okay. Again, the impact of not exercise is not a pound straight away. It's a pound over time. And as you get older, you develop a whole range of clinical conditions because your body is simply not strong enough anymore to resist the usual weaknesses that occur as we get older. Yeah. So to avoid many of those conditions, exercise, eat well. And of course, the other part of this is to take care of your mental health. As you know, we've had guests on here discussing our mental health and why it's important. Yeah. Let me emphasize, it is important. It is critically important to take care of our mental health. And if you're feeling uncertain, if you're feeling sometimes people just feel down. But if you're feeling not in yourself any longer, seek professional help. Don't suffer in silence, I say to people. Please, don't suffer in silence. And of course, it's important to take care of our spiritual health, That positive outlook. During the time I've been speaking about the need for good health, it's now turned from night to day. I'm now looking out. The sky is now bright. I see blue skies. I see wonderful clouds floating in the sky. Yeah. So the power of that beautiful golden sunrise, has now transformed to a beautiful blue sky with those wonderful clouds floating. And I feel a sense of oneness now with my environment.
Yeah.
Huh? That's promoting good spiritual health, Lady Chelsea. That feeling of oneness, settle, calm. I can feel my inner energy is rising in response to my realization. The day has arrived. and it looks beautiful. Oh, I can see beauty, Lady Chelsea, huh? Where's your picture? I can't see you now. Where are you? God, I know you're shining with beauty.
Okay.
Understand, Lady Chelsea?
Mhm.
There you are. There's the beauty. Huh? Yeah. Did you understand? Yeah. That's what I mean. Your outlook, your vision is transformed because you raise your spiritual energy. Yeah. And that's the impact that we can do for ourselves. This is reparations. Yeah. Repairing ourselves each day. Mm-hmm. What's your response, Lady Chelsea? Huh? What's your response?
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I don't know.
How do you feel now?
Good. I don't know.
You've got to let yourself go, Lady Chelsea. That's what I mean. Look after that beautiful sky, the beauty of it all, you know? Now, everything around me appears to be beautiful.
Mm-hmm. My curtains are closed.
You see what I mean? And once you are in that mindset, nothing's impossible. All things are possible. We can be transformative. We are, of course, our own change makers.
Yeah.
Yeah? That's the power of self-reparations, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. There you go. I feel so good today. Oh my gosh. Lady Chelsea, let's keep talking, huh? And let's keep talking. Another couple are listening to us, watching us, I believe, in fact, you know? So yeah, that's why I do this, yeah? We've got to transform our attitudes, yeah? And to do this, we must take care of selves, love ourselves, yeah? Mm-hmm. It is transformative, yeah? There you are. Anyway, let's keep going. See, Lady Chelsea now taking care of herself. Look at those lips. Oh my God. You see what I mean? We. You see what I mean? It is a state of mind. Mm-hmm. Yep. It is a state of mind. And that's why it's so important for these programs to be transformative. That's why it's called the Motivator, where we transfer and translate our words into action. And remember, all of you, success is ours for the taking. Okay? Yeah. It's a mindset. Okay, right. Enough of that now, Martin. Let's keep moving forward. Let's keep moving it forward. I would remember, and I want you to keep in mind, Lady Chelsea, we'll come to in a moment, I would recall some of our past contributors, spend 5 minutes on some of our past contributors, okay? First of all, I thought last week's show was quite interesting, yeah? Could you remember?
No.
Oh dear, from the mouths of babes.
I'm not for
Okay. Our sexual health matters. Yeah. I want to give praise to Sister Sojourner, Nurse Sojourner. Okay. Oh my God, I say sister. My daughter, of course. A sexual health specialist, you know. And I felt she provided such common sense advice on our sexual health. Yeah. I had a really positive response from a whole range of people, both young and old, to the advice provided. Mm-hmm. And I say to those of you who've never, some people I know, have never been to a sexual health clinic or indeed discussed with their doctors or any other clinician their sexual health in order to determine that they are indeed, they've not contracted without realizing any of the sexually transmitted infections or STIs. So I want to positively encourage those who have not done so. Sojourner was able to relate to us an online service for those of you who are in Britain. And that's www.sh24.org. Okay. Now that organization, which is nationally funded by the government, of course, is a national sexual health service, which is online, of course. Yeah. So if in doubt, and you're a bit shy to go to your own GP or speak to a pharmacist or other sexual health specialists, just go to that website, www.sh24.org. Okay, or Google it; it'll come up in the Google search or whatever search engine you use. Please, if you've never been or had yourself checked out to ensure you are clear of any STIs, and it will happen to the most unlikely people, I might add, please take that step. That's your reparation step. That is you taking care of yourself and your loved ones and those you respect around you. Okay. But those of you who are able to speak to your GP, speak to your GP. If you can't speak to your GP, speak to your pharmacist. Yeah. They will be able to direct you or indeed to provide you with the advice you require. And indeed, in most towns and cities across Britain, there are sexual health clinics, okay, walk-in clinics. If you put it into your search engine and find out nearest sexual health clinic, please, I implore you, take this action for yourself and your loved ones and those who care for you, those who you know. Yeah. And if you are a new couple who've just come together but have not yet come together in that way, what do you want me to say? I'm not allowed to say. It's quite early in the morning, you see. So anyway, I would say to you, before, and this is what Sojourner said, before you both come together, both of you go to the sexual health clinic together, okay? And both of you share the results of the test that was carried out together. So you both start your relationship with confidence. That is just good practice. I know it's difficult. I know it was embarrassing. Yeah, a bit shy in some cases. I know.
Mm-hmm.
But it's common sense, because you recall the video I played by Professor Kevin Fenton, when he noted that in our community, we are 5 times more likely to have gonorrhea in our communities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's same for many of these STIs, and Sojourner related a number of them. I'm trying to remember what they were all called, but I'm going to recite them because I don't want to be squeamish, and I don't want to exhibit the behavior of those who are shy or coy to talk about this subject, because to be shy or coy, it's equivalent to suffering from inertia, where you stand still and do nothing. And standing still, inertia means death, and I'm not down for death. Okay, so I'm going to quote those names. So the journal quoted typical STIs or sexual health diseases that pervade our community. We mentioned gonorrhea,
Mm-hmm.
chlamydia, yeah, was another one. Syphilis is another one. HIV, of course, is another one of those. Herpes is another. Okay, herpes, yeah, and she talked about genital herpes as well. You might recall, and of course, syphilis was another one that was discussed last week. These diseases pervade our communities, and many reasons why they continue to pervade our communities is because we refuse to talk about it in open public. Okay, we, Lady Chelsea, cannot be afraid. We've got to communicate these positive health messages to the community, because to do so is to be irresponsible, and we are therefore colluding with the spread of these STIs, sexually transmitted infection throughout our communities when we could arrest their spread within the communities. You know? So I'm happy to spend all the time talking about past representatives, talking about last week's show, because it was both informative and provided the opportunities for listeners and viewers to take action. And I can report to you, Lady Chelsea, that I'm aware of 11 individuals who have taken action, who personally made contact with me and taken action. And unfortunately, I have to report, of those 11, seven reported to me that the clinic or the doctors had identified an STI.
What?
7! Oh my gosh. 7 of that 11.
That's a lot. Yeah. Okay.
Terrifying, huh?
What? Mm-hmm.
Well, I say that.
So it's
Yeah, it is terrifying, but it just alerts us all. Yeah, STIs, sexually transmitted diseases, pervade our community. Okay, and we should not take chances.
Mm-hmm.
We should, I emphasize, should see our doctors, see our sexual health specialists, go to the clinics, or go online to www.sh24.org. Google it if you're unsure, okay? But I say to those, particularly those who've never been, or the last time was 10, 15, 20 years ago, and you believe that you're fine, honestly, it's just like your annual checkup, your health checkup. You should go to the doctor at least once a year. You should go to the sexual health clinic at least once a year. And if you're sexually active with different partners, go more frequently, please.
Yeah.
Is that reasonable, Lady Chelsea?
More than. Yeah.
Okay. And I want to again express, I know you want to express your appreciation to Sojourner for communicating such powerful, positive messages to the audience today and those who are listening to the recordings. Yeah, Lady Chelsea? Yeah. Powerful messages. So thank you very much, Sojourner, and hopefully you'll continue with your good works for the community. Okay. Anyway, anyone else you want to give light to, Lady Chelsea, in a few minutes? I'm sorry I take up too much time, really, but anyway.
Not that I can remember that I haven't already shouted out.
Okay. Well, anyway, it's good that we spent much of the time on the sexual health issues, because our sexual health matters. And that the title of that show was so appropriate, I felt, so appropriate. And all those who responded, I say to you, stay strong, and those 11 people notified me, thank you. And those who were brave enough to tell me that they had positive results and now they're taking medication, my heart goes out to you all, okay? And I appreciate that feedback, truly appreciate it. On behalf of all the listeners today, we appreciate that feedback. And the others who've taken action I'm not in contact with, feel free to contact the show at any time. Let me give out that number, then I'll go to you on Madakai's book, Lady Chelsea. Let me give out the number anyway, for those who want to tell us that they have been and have spoken to a sexual health clinic, and you may want to share the result of that contact. But the number to call, if you want to share your experiences with us, it's 0203 481 5240. And of course, enter the PIN number 3707 33 43 97, followed by the # sign. That's the vertical and horizontal symbol on your keypad. And I'll give it that one more time very slowly. 0203 481 5240 and enter PIN number 3707 33 4397, followed by the # sign, vertical and horizontal symbol on your keypad. Okay, love to hear from you at any point during this show. Feedback to last week's show on sexual health, we would appreciate it, because these are discussions we must not be shy. Okay, it's vitally important for our community's general health. Okay, I'll hand over to you, Lady Chelsea.
Okay. Yes, this is the bit where we promote the Malachi's book, which he wrote at 14, which is why we shout him out every week, as is an achievement, and supposed to like to promote other younger people to do the same. The book he wrote is called Tutankhamun, The Tale of the Adventurous Boy King. I was going to read out the number, but the number that Motivator just said is the same number for you to call in to answer the questions. So I'll do the questions, and I'll read out the number once more, just in case that wasn't clear. Okay, cool. Right, so the first question is for children under 10.
Question 1. How do you spell Tutankhamun?
So that's, how do you spell Tutankhamun? And the second question is for children 11 to 16.
Question 9. Who or what did the people of Kemet worship during the time of Tutankhamun?
So that's, who or what did the people of Kemet worship at the time of Tutankhamun? Okay, so I'll read out the number just in case. So the number to call to answer the questions at any time during the show is 020 348 15240, and then you'll be asked for a PIN number, which is 370 733 4397, followed by the hash key sign on your phone.
Mm-hmm. Well, did you mention £25?
Oh, sorry, yes. So yes, part of the prize with the book is the £25.
There you go. That's okay, that's all right. So we're going to encourage feedback today. We're encouraging feedback. We're in that time of year. And of course, Lady Chelsea, what we want to do is continue to encourage young people, particularly young people at schools, to do those things which give pride to parents, you know. Mm-hmm. And I think writing books on a range of subjects is really to give us all pride, you know. Mm-hmm. And I've got to say, young Malachi is a young man who, you know, we all could take pride in. And of course, never forgetting. Do you remember our young man who wrote the book, Words Are Wonderful? Derek, yeah. Oh gosh, yeah. And we need to contact him, get our people questions as well, you know. Could we need to we need to do that as well, okay. And I want you to just mark out that we've got a new pilot on Galaxy Radio by the name of, you're going to like his name, Pi Ratio. Yes, he's a maths genius, let me tell you, a natural communicator. And I was able to listen to his show earlier this week. And I must say, he was able to explain some maths theorems or problems, as it were, in ways that were so accessible. Even those who have no interest in maths would take an interest.
Okay.
So I've committed myself, if I can get him on, to get him onto this show, to talk about mathematics and why it's such an important, exciting subject, you know. He spoke about it with such enthusiasm. I was infected. Wow, you know, can you imagine someone like me on the show, on the station? Can you imagine? Wow. Yeah. It was truly infectious. Mm-hmm. So Pi Ratio, I want to give a big shout out to him. What an outstanding show he put on, you know. It was truly outstanding. You know, I was truly very impressed by him. So I'm going to keep communicating with him, try and get him on here, just to talk about mathematics, why it's so important, how it relates to our everyday life, you know. And as you know, it's one of those core subjects here, you know, mathematics, English language, written work, and of course, sciences are core subjects here in the national curriculum. It is vital that we all develop mathematic competencies, you know, before we leave school, you know. And I know mathematics can be quite challenging, but it's usually the way it's taught, yeah, and therefore it becomes difficult for many of us, you know. Because I've been through that period, and once I understood the underlying premise of the problem, I was able to find solutions to it, yeah, and that's what's important. It's how to find your own solutions to these problems, you know. He was fantastic. Anyway, I did give a shout out to pi ratio anyway. I don't normally do this, but oh yeah, for pi ratio, that was quite exceptional. That was quite exceptional. And of course, I listen to mums and dads who are listening to this program, their sons and daughters. I really want to encourage you to respond to these questions posed by young Malachi. I really want to encourage you to call in. I know it's early.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's early.
Mm-hmm.
But I know the motivated, as it were, parents and guardians are all up at this time. Yeah. Why? Because when all my children were young, I was up at this time. In fact, much earlier. Yeah. But I need to prepare them because we're going out to various classes and other activities, you know. Mm-hmm. So I know they're listening. And I know they believe, well, you know, we can't stop. I said, well, you know, keep the radio on your phone, you know, even in your car. You can call when you're in the car. It doesn't matter. I say to them, you know, it's only a few minutes, you know, and you get £25. What? Is that not incentive enough?
Yeah.
But, see, answer the question which will be straightforward. £25. Here's the prize. What? Is that incentive enough?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll wait and see. Well, but we are very determined. We never give up. Okay. I mean, adapt as we need to. We help those parents, those boys and girls. We'll help them. If that's what they need, we'll help them. But anyway, it doesn't matter. So call in. If you listened to last week's show and want to share an experience, either that you may or may not have an STI, or indeed what it was like making inquiries. You know, we want to know if you speak to your GPs or did you go to a clinic or did you go to a pharmacist, you know? We want to know, yeah? Really good to share your experiences. So please feel free to call in on 0203 481 5240 and of course PIN number 3707 33 43 97 followed by the @ sign. That's the vertical and horizontal symbol on your keypad. And those of you who are viewing this program through live via Facebook under The Motivator Show or YouTube under The Motivator Show, yeah, and of course The Motivator, DE space Motivator, make sure we've got it right, okay? You find the our landing pages. In Facebook, it's easily found. You know, we've got over 550 subscribers there. I understand, which is I'm really pleased. I've done very little work on Facebook, I must say, and on YouTube, many more subscribers on YouTube. And I ask you to do both on both platforms, and you can put the likes. You know, the arrow. I think that's right. It shows like that, isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah.
There you are. Do this. So you like it, please, okay? Or subscribe. And if you subscribe, it means that you'll receive notification of the next show and the subject matter that we're about to discuss. You know, I know Lady Chelsea knows a lot about these management issues in terms of the social media. I don't know. Is that right? Is that right, Lady Chelsea?
comment, like, and subscribe. If you comment, you can comment if you like the show or what you'd like us to talk about or what have you.
Yeah, that's true. In fact, that's a good point. You could, of course, send a message to us suggesting subjects that we might consider discussing in the future. Okay. Or indeed, if you are a specialist in the field that you want to talk about, please volunteer yourself. I've got no problem with that, I've got no problem with that. And we've had a really quite an eclectic series of visitors here to the show come right across the spectrum. So we're very interested to hear specialists or those with a particular skill or experience to share with us. We are very interested to know. Okay, let's make it clear. And of course, this show is really will be focused on, and it was a good idea, Lady Chelsea. I think you empathize with me on this. It was a good idea at first that today we wanted to focus on supporting our businesses, but quite specifically supporting our butchers, those who sell meat. Okay. Now, I thought it was a good idea, and I've been planning this for some weeks, but not one of these butchers pointed out to me that this is their peak time. You're laughing now. They were all telling me last night, oh, but Motivator, this is my peak time. In each case, there are 4 butchers I intended today, okay? And in each case, they tell me that they open around 8 o'clock, but each one of them told me before they open, you know what happens? There's a queue of people outside the butchers.
Wow.
Indeed. Now, there's a butcher whose sign we've got up behind us, Dennis Butchers in Peckham. Let me give a big shout out to Dennis Butchers in Peckham. Okay? He's been around for more than, as long as this station's been around, 35 plus years, Dennis Butchers, yeah? Beautiful meat, if I may say so. I'm not comparing women with meat, and say that. You know what I mean. Wholesome meat, clean meat, and an excellent service whenever you go to Dennis Butchers.
Yeah. On
Peckham High Street, and those of you who know Peckham, or those who don't know Peckham, that's opposite the old bus garage. Okay. Now, I want to commend Dennis Butchers to you. Okay. He may or may not at some point join us in this program today. Okay. He pointed out to me this is his peak time. And then he went on to point out to me, but Motivator, do you realize that there are only 2 Saturdays before the 25th? There you go. Exactly what you said. I replied, oh, really? He said, well, look, it means then I'm bound to have a long queue. So if I don't join you, okay, today, please understand. It's not a slight. It's simply, I hadn't realized, for all those weeks we were discussing it, that the 11th of December will be a very busy December. Okay, so he may or may not join us today. Okay, so I take it. I now realize, because they've all said the same thing anyway. So I realize at the last possible moment that the butchers who I really wanted to focus on today are all going to be very busy, and it may be unreasonable. It is unreasonable to ask that they conduct an interview with us today. So if they don't join us today, I understand, all of you, okay? I would understand, I understand. And we'll do this again in January, okay? All right, I think that's reasonable, okay? Dennis is a member of our community, and there's a subject which we should discuss today, that is how we circulate money within the community, how we create and support our entrepreneurs, how we create jobs, careers for our sons and daughters. And if we don't take responsibility, for supporting our entrepreneurs, our business people, if we don't take responsibility for creating job opportunities for our sons and daughters, if we don't take the responsibility for helping our sons and daughters' career development, why should we expect anyone else to do it for us?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. So we should support businesses in our community. It's not that we don't go to other businesses in other communities, but we should, at the very least, support businesses in our community. It's kind of common sense, really, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, common sense, really. You know? So I would commend to listeners Dennis Butcher's on Peckham High Street, SE15. In fact, I should get the exact address down soon. Yeah, I'll do that. There's another Butcher's, Lady Chelsea. I hope you don't mind me talking for another. No. Yeah, okay. Another Butcher's. Again, not too far from where we are. Tony's Butcher's. Again, from our community. Tony's Butcher's is on East Street Market. Okay, so the Butcher's is based on East Street Market, and when I say East Street Market, for those who don't know London, where we are, this is East Street Market, which is in Southwark, in London.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and again, I should get his address out as well.
Yeah.
And I want to commend Tony's Butcher's in East Street Market. That's London SE17. Okay. Mm-hmm. And, you know, again, he spoke just the same way as Dennis did, said, look, this is the peak time. Hadn't realized when I made a promise to you, but, you know, I've got orders coming out of, you know, everywhere, he said, and he just, oh my dear. He said, I'm truly overwhelmed with support from the community. But we can never have too much support from the community, because in his case, and I believe Dennis's case, they both will be developing websites. So you can order online and then pick up from a shop. And eventually it will have a service that allows them to deliver to your homes. I imagine by this time next year, particularly Tony's Butchers will have a service that you can go online, order whatever's in the store in his butchers, okay, and he will deliver to your home. But initially he said it will be that you could order online and it'll be ready for you when you enter his butchers.
Mm-hmm.
Bit of common sense, really, when you have the technology, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good bit of common sense. And I've got to say that I commend him. You know, I commend him. He's forward thinking of ways in which he can publicize his butchers to the audience. You know, and I want to commend Tony's Butchers to the audience. Yeah, Tony's Butchers in East Street Market in that London SE17. Okay, and Dennis Butchers, who is in Peckham in London SE15. Okay. Now I see we've got a caller on the line, 9972. Good morning to you.
Good morning. It's me, Norma.
Oh, Elder Norma. Oh, privileged.
How are you all doing this morning?
Oh, we're good. Even better from hearing from you, Elder Norma. How are you? We've not heard from you for a while, huh?
I've been very busy. Community work, so it's quite busy, and it's a busy time. We're coming up to Christmas time now, so it's busy family time, and also, well, COVID-19 hasn't made it much easier as well. So we're going to be careful about whatever we do, where we go, who goes where, and ever. So it's taking up a lot of time. So New Year might be, things might be slightly different. So that's where we are. But according to two reasons. The first one is on the health issues, and I'm not talking about, well, not the sexual health issue. Right?
Why not, my elder?
But we need to do a program at some point on illness that are things that affect our community, i.e., for instance, glaucoma. Blind a lot of people, especially a lot of people in our community, because they haven't bothered to go to get to the opticians, whatever. Because I know people who have difficulty seeing things anyway, but pretend. And I'm not going to wear glasses, so I'm not going. Glasses make me look less manly. Don't want to wear glasses. But glaucoma. So one of the things you could do at some point is get an eye specialist on to explain to our community how serious glaucoma is. It's hereditary.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you had siblings who's got it, by the age of 40, you should be tested yourself. So any nearest to family, your own children got it, your parents, anyway, and the nearest in your family's got it, you need to be tested from the age of 40. Otherwise, you'll go blind. Because once you've got glaucoma, it damages your eyes. It is not reversible once it's damaged. You can have drops to prevent it getting worse.
Right.
But whatever damage is caused beforehand, that's that. So that's one of the things you'll probably do in the near future. Oh, and one more thing. By the way, if you have anyone in your family with glaucoma and you're over 40, the eye examination is free.
Oh,
so
okay.
You go to the optician.
Say that again. Say it again, my elder. Say that again slowly.
If you're over 40 and you got your nearest sibling has got glaucoma, to have an eye test, it is free on the NHS. So whether you are in full-time employment, I think an eye test is 25 to 30 pounds, something to that effect. If you've got someone in your nearest family has got glaucoma and you're over 40, the eye test is free. You can actually look it up on the NHS website and you'll see it is free.
Wow.
Actually, my son was at the optician's last week and he called me to ask me. He was sitting in the thing and he said, haven't you got glaucoma? And I said, yes. And I just sent him the papers that I had to say, it says on there, I've got glaucoma. So obviously he didn't have to pay to have his eye tested. But this is what I'm saying. We need to tell people in our community because glaucoma blinds you. Okay. Another day, I will explain to you that I had the research surgery. As you remembered, 5 months ago, I had the glaucoma research surgery thing for my eyes. I'm still doing part of the research surgery. They're trying to that you don't have to put that many drops in, but we leave that for another program.
Thank you for sharing that piece of information. But I didn't know that, and whilst it's not part of, I think that's useful information to share with the community. Well, what's your second point, Mayoda?
Right. The main point today is regarding butchers.
Yes.
It's not necessarily just butchers.
Okay.
My actual point is it's good to see that black business is coming through our community.
Yes.
Because once upon a time you would find nothing. And I can say from Tony Lee Street, we haven't had a black butchers we've never had one before. And I've lived here for over 60 years, so there hasn't been one. We actually, other thing is we need to think of our spending power. After all, it's our money, and we need to choose where we got to spend our money. We might not want to queue up outside Tony or Dennis, but we rather go and queue up somewhere else because it's 10 pence cheaper.
Oh,
think of where your money is going.
Are you saying we should be circulating the black pound?
That's right. Yes.
Good. Huh?
We should choose where we spend our money, not because him next door is got it 10 pence cheaper. We don't know where that 10 pence is going, but put it back in our own community. Yeah. And
Hold on, I heard. Hold on, Mel. I heard Lady Chelsea go. I know that means she's got a question for you. I suspect. Oh,
Okay,
come on now.
Are you going to do that now?
No, I was just agreeing. I was
She was agreeing with you. Okay.
Also, shopping in our own as I bring the point back. Shopping in our own business should be a lifestyle. We should empower ourselves with this knowledge. We could do it in our younger generation, because as soon as a Nike shop opens, sorry for advertising there on Oxford Street, everybody grab their bag this time in the morning to go then queue up and fight with each other to get whatever it is. They're not thinking of that we need to save some money to invest our money into a business. It's because it's in our head that we have to have these things that are there. I think we all did it when we were young people, but we realize now, or we should realize, that we should be supporting what's our own, plus in our own neighborhood. Also, coming back to the butchers again, shopping with small business is good and it's more personal.
Yeah.
When you go to a small shop like, just like Dennis and Tony and the other chap in Westmoreland Road. This is in Southwark, people, just in case you didn't know where we're talking and you come from somewhere else in Manchester listening. We are in London, in Southwark.
Yeah.
So we don't have many of these things.
I try to explain that to them. Yeah, go Mayo. But
There are
drawbacks,
though.
Can I just...
Sorry.
Can I just say something, Mayo, and I think you make a really powerful point. Shopping in our own stores should become part of our lifestyle. I think that was
it should be part of our lifestyle, yes.
So
exactly.
Why do you think it hasn't been part of our lifestyle?
Well, this is the point, because they're far and in between. But they're not in a cluster. For instance, if I wanted a butcher before Tony came and I wanted black butchers, where would I have to go? Pickup? Why would I need to jump on a bus to go that far? If you think of the Latin American community in Elephant and Castle shopping centre, which is in Southwark, they're in a cluster. And if they come from somewhere else, they can get all their business done exactly there. They don't need to go anywhere else because they're in a cluster. We used to have a cluster in Brixton. No more.
Yep, I understand.
They're no more. Yeah? So they need to be in a cluster. So you've got one there, the other one there, then something, a fish there, a baker's. Are you with me? That you start in a shopping community. The point is that you have to go to one here, then think of the next one, probably in another area, too. No. You need to be in a cluster. And if you think, the Latin Americans only been here, since 1990. And Martin, you try and move and them down the Old Kent Road, they don't want to go by themselves.
Yeah, indeed.
If 2, 3 or 4 of them are going, they will go. They want to stay all together, because when people come, people want to do things. So that's one of the things. They string out, our shops to string out too far.
So if I may, Mario, just to make sure I capture the key point you've made there, what you're saying is, in order for our business to thrive, we need to move together. In other words, create a cluster of businesses, just like you mentioned another community. If you create clusters, then that creates its own momentum, as it were, and becomes an identified area where businesses for a particular community grouping will be found. I hear you. That's a pretty powerful observation, I must say, and I hope, as you know, East Street is in the centre of my political ward. I hope that we can create a cluster. Okay, but my elder, can you just hold on just a second? I see we've got a new caller on the line. Just hold on there, Elder Norma. Let me just take this other caller. Caller with number ending 6676. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you? Who am I speaking
I'm well,
with?
thank you, the motivator. How are you?
I'm good. I feel so good today. I was saying to Lady Chelsea, it's a beautiful sunrise we observed, and now I can see blue skies, clouds. I feel so empowered.
Lovely. That's great. right over at my end, but it is well. The most important thing is that we've got up and we're alive and we are well. That is it, you know. But thank you so much for this meeting with regards to the butchers. It's a very valid thing that you're speaking about, and I thank Elder Norma with regard to the information she gave also, which was awesome. We need to support our own people, okay? Now, if you were to look around, as Elder Norma said, you know, you have got limited suppliers with regards to supplying our meat and so forth. And yes, just for the matter of 10 pence, someone will go to Mr. Halal shop.
Indeed.
Which, at the end of the day, we need to support our own. You do not see any of those people's wives and daughters, etc., coming to Dennis Butchers or even Eastry. They have their specialist shop whereby their meats are all cellophaned. It's all wrapped up lovely. So at the end of the day, we need to support our own. Stop fussing about 10 pence different, because you'll lose that money somewhere else. Let us patronize our own people to lift them up.
Yes.
You see, we need this in our society. This is our community. We've lived there for how many years now? Let's do something worthwhile for our own. Look at even the wigs that 9 out of 10 black lady wears. It's an Indian man selling it, telling me, darling, darling, darling. If my brother...
Hold on a second, say that again. Hold on, caller. What did you say? Did you say the women's products? What did you say? I didn't quite catch what you said.
Women's hair products, yes, from the majority of the wigs that people are wearing. It is an Indian man selling it to them.
Hold on a second. I've got Lady Chelsea here. I don't buy hair products. Okay, so everyone laughing at me. Okay, so I don't really know. I'm going to go over to Lady Chelsea. Let her interact with you. But I don't know. Where do you buy your stuff there, Lady Chelsea? Where would you buy your things?
Normally, yeah, it would be an Asian man who has the shop. But there is, I think, my friend told me there is somewhere on Woolworth Road owned by a black man. I've forgotten what it's called, so I don't want to get it wrong, but I think there is.
Repeat the name.
Is that the one next to Greg's, Auntie Norma?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I was going to
yes.
there instead. But yeah, normally there's not, I don't know of any other black-owned hair shop. So yeah, it would normally be by someone who's from like South Asia who like owns it, where I get my products and stuff, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So you see, at the end of the day, their wives and daughters do not enter our shops. They patronize their own establishment. You know, we need to lift up our community. Yeah? If it's the case that you see a hair in one of our Indian brother shops, take the details and go to our black shop, give it to them, and let them order it for you.
Here.
That's all. We have to stop doing this because we ourselves are breaking down our own community. We've been here for far too long. We should have been more established than what we are.
Yeah. I hear you. Can I? And I'm proud to say that the shop that you're referring to is also within my political ward. Okay, and yes, he definitely focuses on is from Jamaican heritage, African Jamaican heritage, and yes, he makes sure that the product that are sold or the hair products that are sold are of the best possible quality. And he tries, he says, to get the best prices, but it can be challenging at times.
It's very good. Because as I said, we're talking about our community.
Yes.
You've got so many hair establishments around, barbers, hairdressers.
Yes.
However, if you were to look, sorry to say, to the European, to the white hairdressers, they stand alone. They have their hairdressers for their ladies and barbers for their men. You look at the hairdressers for the Afro-Caribbean people, 9 out of 10 of them are mixed with barbers. Now, I don't know about any other woman, but when I'm going to do my hair's in a mess. I don't want no man seeing it.
Why not? We're not going to criticize you. It's your natural.
Oh, behave yourself. You criticize us when we've got it done, let alone when it's not done. You know?
I hear you, though. I hear you, Corner.
I want to go in and be able to, if I've got a wig on, take it off, get my hair done, whatever I need done, and come out looking hot. All I need to do is dress up. Not that I'm passing men with their barbers, whatever. Listen, we have to also realize that is a quality time for male and female, for them to relax and just be them.
Yeah.
Chat with their guide, chat with their ladies.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, discuss certain private things, perhaps, in regards to the hair and beautification.
No, you make an excellent point. Don't worry, you make an excellent point, and
you can't find a
hairdresser
that stands alone, a black proper hairdresser that stands alone, and it's wrong. We do our hair every bloody week.
Okay. Oh, language now. Language.
You know, it's just amazing.
So this is useful feedback. I'm not sure if Lady Chelsea wants to say anything at this point. It'd be interesting. Any questions you want to pose? You are my co-presenter.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have any. No, I agree with everything she said. There's not many. I think there's I think Crown and Glory in Camberwell is separate, although they're store. But yeah, I do see a lot of mixed hairdressers, barbers, and it would be helpful for it not to be. But I do understand that, you know, money-wise and stuff. If that's not available, then that's understandable. But yeah, if we could have a situation.
It is expensive for us to do our hair, you know, and the thing being, I mean, I go to a hairdresser's which solely stands alone in Norwood now, okay, who do ladies' hair end of. And the pricing is no different. So perhaps what we need to look at is how they're managing things. You see, maybe someone has the experience of a hairdresser, but not bookkeeping to align it. And perhaps these are some of the things that we need to look at so that our businesses are established and it grows because the people are there. The customers are there.
Yes. No, that's very true. If there's any indication from the butchers I've been speaking to, who at the last moment reminded me that this is their peak time. So anyway, what I'm equally confident of is that the hairdressers and those who supply the products this is also their peak time. So it is interesting, but at least what is in both cases, both your cases, you're able to highlight Black businesses or African heritage businesses in and around your neighborhoods, okay, that you are able to patronize, okay, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. They're not a dearth. So what we now need to do is encourage those businesses to develop branches, you know, because all too often they're just one unit, you know. We now need to encourage them to invest.
Investment.
Yes.
One of my point is, sorry to butt in, one of my point is we could investment could be considered by community. There could be projects set up, like probably through a credit union or some form where we as a community could invest in our the service that we want to be provided. Probably some of the butchers can't do any better or do anything else because they haven't got the finance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, that's very true.
And
perhaps even the bookkeeping, etc., element of it. And I think as you're saying, it will be great if a handful of people could come together with some, you know, some finance, bookkeeping.
We have that. We've got a lot of wealthy
experience.
people in Southwark. We have, Councillor, you pointed out to me we got a lot of wealthy people in Southwark.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I don't know who they are, but they could be helping as well, not sitting on their money or keep it under the mattress. Them days are finished.
I think there's something that can be done to infuse our society, you know, because there's so much talent here, and it upsets me a little bit when I walk down the road, like for instance Old Kent Road. You've got all these southern restaurants, barbers, etc., not being rude, by foreigners. You go to talk to them, then you can't understand them well, and you wonder, how did you manage to go through via the council and all the legal procedures to get this building, to start this business?
Okay, I hear you. Well, what we don't want to do, okay, is speak badly about others. We should really focus on how we're going to build up our own, if I may suggest.
No, I totally understand. All I'm pointing out is the difference in the longevity, the length of time that they have had and what they've achieved, and we're still sat on our backsides, basically.
Exactly. As I pointed out, the Latin Americans has only been in the Elephant and Castle shopping centre since the 90s.
Yeah.
And they've even designated, it's called the Latin Quarters.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's its name, the Latin Quarters. And even the new bit that they get now in Castle Square, a lot of that is all designated to, Martin, I can see your face smiling. Castle Square is also dedicated also to Latin America. And no disrespect to these people, they work hard, but they're moving forward. We've been here over 70 years and we still stay, we still at the back. I know there is people be listening to this saying, well, why don't you do it? Well, let me point out, I am not a business person. I am neither a shopkeeper. I am a shopper and a consumer, and I've got the money in my pocket. So unless you provide me what I want to, then I won't. Coming back to the butchers, one of the things I'm hoping, because as black people, we've got an attitude when we have business. Like when you go to the restaurant and you're waiting to be served, and the way they speak to you, you either take it or leave it. Yeah. Okay. So, and I don't have to put up with that nonsense. Anyway,
correct.
One thing I'm hoping is that the butchers remember I have the money. Yeah, and if I have for my meat to be deboned.
Okay. I think you hold on, Rowan. Hold on. I think
shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, you make an interesting point. I'm going to go over to Lady Chelsea if she's got a view on what is the service like when you go to a business managed by a member of our community.
Well, this is my point.
Yeah, let's see what Lady Sophie says.
I think it's quite known that like Caribbean or like Jamaican restaurants don't have the best reputation for customer service. I think that's quite a popular view by a lot of people, black people that I've seen on social media. That's not very good. So I do understand what Elder Norma is saying. I suppose back to the point, I'm sorry, I don't know the other caller's name, sorry. When she was saying that maybe like business owners should maybe be more educated in business or that like customer service and stuff that goes along with it. So maybe we could give like better experiences, and then maybe business might be better and people would like to invest in it more maybe. I don't know how.
When you experience it yourself, Lady Chelsea, do you just simply take it and say, well, even though the customer service wasn't very good, it's just the way it is? Or do you make any comment to the proprietor?
Depends what kind of moods. I mean, if it like really, really bad, I just won't go back, to be honest, because
don't go back. Yeah.
But not that it happens too often.
I find who the management is and complain to the management and tell the management, if you want your business to survive, I suggest you come and run your business yourself. And I find that who owns the business.
one of the things, Elder Norma, you find is that when you do complain to them to say, look, love, do A, B, and C, yes? Because you're the customer, as you said, you're spending your money. They behave as if you're argumentative, but all it is you want the thing dressed a bit better. Yeah. As I said, I agree. You're going to so many, sorry to say, black families go into halal shop and they're not Muslim. Not being rude, I'm not against anyone's religion, all right? But they go into these shops to buy it because they're 10 pence cheaper, as you said, all right? Now, they've got their own shops there, which they don't patronise. You see, I spoke to one of the butchers recently to say, and I was down there probably about, I don't know, maybe 3 o'clock in the afternoon to buy some meat. And I said to them, look, the thing looks a little bit dry, to be honest with you, as you're looking through the window, you know? It looks like just leftover rubbish, to be honest with you. It's only out of loyalty, you know? And I said, can you put a bit of cellophane on it, like what they do in the Arab shops where the Arab ladies go, etc.? And they said they haven't got time.
Okay. I think, first of all, and you know what, in both your callers' cases, what you're trying to do is help them, give them advice, because you're responding to your experience, okay? And it's interesting to hear what you've said and what Lady Chelsea said. And Lady Chelsea said, well, if I receive poor service, you know what, I just don't go back again. Now, it is true, we as a community need to think as to why, with our significant numbers, we have too few entrepreneurs, business people, you know? And it's interesting to listen very carefully to each of your responses. And I hope that entrepreneurs, business people in the community will take on board these comments that have been made. Yeah. And can I, before you come in, I've got a new caller just joined us. Let me just introduce this new caller. Caller with number ending 3133. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Motivator. How are you and how are you, Chelsea?
Oh, I'm well. I'm well. And you?
Yeah. My name is Onuwa Mabi, and the topic of today have triggered me really. I'm a business person on History Open Road since 1993. So I have been up and down this the problem and the challenges we are talking about today. And the most important thing that I really want to hold on, instead of going up and down, is what Mama Norma said, which is glutter. I mean, many of us being together. Now, in the 90s, up to 2007, 8, there used to be many African shops around, open through the street, whereby you can do your shopping, you can do your hair, and you can do a little bit of thing, and then walk down to the street market and finish it off instead of going to Peckham. Yes, things were very easy. But suddenly, we just find that all the Black African Caribbean shops are closing down. Okay. Due to one reason or the other. And then this closing down now disturb and disintegrate the corporation and the progress that we Black people were making. And that was it and everything. And even as we are talking to you right now, if any of the African shop or closes down, it is being replaced by a European shop. And when that European shop closes down, they hand it over to a fellow European like themselves, unlike we Africans, the Black one. So, and I'm glad the Motivator, you are with the council. The council is directly responsible for the organization and allocation of who and where things should be. You know, we Black people, we sometimes, most of the time, we know one thing, we specialize on that one thing. It's like my last caller said. You might be very good in hairdressing and the product, but you might not be good in bookkeeping. And that little one or whatever that you are lacking can bring you down. It doesn't mean that you are not capable of doing the business or giving the community what you want.
Okay.
As for me, I'm still a dressmaker on Oak End Road.
Right.
And after the pandemic, things were not going well. And I said, I still have to look after my community. We decided to partition the shop into hairdressing, the fashion, and very soon it's going to be like a beauty parlor for Black people. So that it will be natural. You can do your nails, you can do whatever you want to do, and right in front of the shop there, you can take the bus 42, go to East Street, and do your shopping.
Oh, can I ask a quick question? Are you likely to include barbers as well?
Yeah, right on East Street there.
Oh, I see. I just want to make sure you're not going to include barbers.
Yeah, there is a barber. And right on that 311 East Street, that shop there is a Black lady there who is working for me. She's very good. And I employed her because of her expertise. My last caller doesn't need to go far away. She's been recommended all over. She's very good, and she's a lady. She's someone you can talk to, and she's been doing this hair business for more than maybe even 40 years. She is very good, and she's there in front of the shop doing hairdressing. And very soon, I'm still looking for a Black people who will do nails, massaging, and whatever I want to do. And that, for example, now that is a problem because I do not want to employ non-Black person to work in there because I care for the community. So the council needs to encourage.
If I may, I do want to make sure, because this is going out worldwide, so we just want to get this right. What you're really saying is, in order to create the setting, or authentic setting of sort of African Caribbean setting, you want to make sure that members of the community are employed in that setting, so that as a customer comes in, the setting, both in terms of the backdrop and the people, reflects the theme that you wish to promote. So I like the idea of the massage, because I'm long overdue for a massage. You see, Lady Chelsea will not give me a massage. You see, apparently. So, so I'm looking for you to organise a massage for me. You see, Lady Chelsea, you should take over those questions. I think now.
All right. How are you looking for Black workers specifically, and are they willing to work at your store? Is it easy or hard?
We could discuss that privately after the program. But where I'm going into is that the council, whereby my councillor Motivator is involved in, must make sure that when there is a Black business, new or whatever, even the old ones, make sure everything is in place for them. Because, you may think they should know. I'm a Black person, and I've been running there since 1993 after my graduation in London College of Fashion. And I know what I'm talking about. The reason why most Black businesses close down there is because of what one of your callers said. They may know how to do hair, they may know how to do the business, but they do not know bookkeeping. They don't have their own solicitor. Maybe there's a group of business somewhere managed by competent solicitors and under one board that will be managing these people, so that we can move on and succeed. Okay. Closing down of business is not our culture. It demoralizes.
Paula, I think you're very right in what you're saying there, to be honest, because when you look at a lot of the businesses around, as you said, you're near the Old Kent Road there. If you look, there's you've got a hairdresser's now on the Old Kent Road, on East Street. On the Old Kent Road now, you've got a hairdresser that's been there forever, and a European hairdresser's next to the library. And I kid you not, each time I've walked past there, you'll be lucky if you see one person in there. And I keep asking myself, how do they manage?
This is it.
Because you do not see the quantity of people in that hairdresser that you would see in a black hairdresser's who have to share with the barbers.
Exactly.
You see, you make an interesting point. Sorry, Lady Chelsea. Sorry.
For any of you, I suppose, just wonder how you thought businesses could develop then, and in what way do you think that we could develop, and so we're not closing down all the time?
Yeah, and again, I'm sorry to interrupt. If years ago there used to be an African shops around that sell African food, foodstuff like yam, plantain, and things. And then it was closed down. And since then, look at from Old Kent Road down to East Street, none. We have the Europeans selling us yam, selling us plantain, selling us palm oil. But
they're selling us our own food that we are not purchasing from our own people. The loyalty needs to come back to the black community for them to know that let us support our own, lift them up and lift others up. We need to show the way and be, as I said, be loyal to them. Our problem is the loyalty is not there for the sake of 10 pence. That is it. And we need to sort that out. I don't mind paying that extra, so Father, I'm buying it from my black brother. I go to my hairdressers, that is only hairdressers. I don't want no man seeing my hair until it's done. Yeah? So if that means going out of the borough, which I do, so be it.
And furthermore, the council must encourage these businesses in a special way, black businesses, intentionally.
Okay. I just say to you on that point,
I emphasize.
let me just say to you on that point, Corner, and you make an interesting one. Often, particularly local authorities, in fact, all institutions, what they respect are other institutions, organised bodies. Okay, and let me make this suggestion to you today. Okay, and this will be, I think, with the permission of Lady Chelsea, a future show. Why don't we form here in the London Borough of Southwark a Black Business Association? Okay, and that business association will set up support systems to support businesses so they can continue to operate and thrive in the borough. Okay, and I would imagine that is the first steps to us finding, I use my terminology, reparations. Because in order to address the problem, the businesses need to come together, discuss it, and then we agree a strategy how we move forward. Okay. And now, if you've not been a part of a business association, and I've made note of your number, I'm going to contact you after this show, and I'm get other businesses that I'm aware of, both in my political ward and beyond, right across the borough, to come together with a common purpose. The common purpose is that as we are a long-established community here in this borough, that we have a right to expect to have businesses that thrive, okay? And if there's information at the council hall that will be useful to us, we would expect to have access to that information, okay? But I can see that and other issues arising, which will be very profitable for each member of a future Black Business Association in this borough. Would you be up for it? Would you join the association?
I can assure you, by the length of the time I've been there and the number of people that I know. Of course, yes.
Brilliant.
But the problem is that most of them are closing down or closed down.
Mhm.
How many people are you going to get together? You must first of all encourage. I'm telling you, you must encourage them to be there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you must. I mean, that is why I said intentionally.
Yes.
Especially you, motivator. You have to intentionally. I see.
I'm going to give it over to Lady.
You do it intentionally from your heart and say, look, I am determined against all odds. Then we cannot see. Of course, they will. People who spend their money, their time, their savings to set up a business with big head and bold mind, they don't want to close down because that is their pride.
Mm-hmm.
Look, most of the African businesses around, look, they've closed down. The ones that are standing, they are just the survival of the fittest.
Yeah. These are tough times, yeah? Which is why I realized that organizing a show around butchers during their peak time, with the benefit of hindsight, and Lady Chelsea did not correct me, I might add, so let's be sure. It may not have been wasn't the right step, but we'll get the butchers in, I'm sure, in January, February of next year. Okay, but
Motivator.
Yes, of course.
Sorry, the motivator. Could I just say one quick thing to you?
Of course.
Yes, what I would suggest, because I'm a customer of Dennis Butchers, and yes, I stand outside in the queue to get in, etc. And the majority of people there have known Dennis since he was in the market way back, and then they closed down the market in Peckham, because we only used to get black food at Tumut Road.
That's
and
right.
some part of the market. Now you've got plantain, yam, etc. every shop apart from blacks. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you've got that. So what you have is these team of non-black people teaming up together, buying the products in a huge bulk, so they get it a lot cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but still sell it at the high price. Whereas the 1 and 2 black shops that you have available, they can't buy in that quantity, all right, because they're a small establishment, okay? But what I would suggest to Dennis and perhaps this other butchers as well, I don't know if the others have got it as yet, as I stated, is that bearing in mind that that is predominantly male, carving up the meat, etc., they should think about employing a woman who can deal with the money side of it to ensure that it's calculated correctly, the right changes given back. Secondly, also the products that he's now selling, from the seasoning, the rice and so forth, that they are also sold up to the customers that are waiting there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? So that they go back with not just oxtail and beef, but with seasoning for it, etc., etc.
Okay, so
if not, all they're doing is selling meat. And perhaps someone on the off chance, I need some coconut milk. They're not really diving into that. Rather, they're leaving there and going on to somewhere else.
Okay, hold on. Let me ask Lady Chelsea, is that your experience when you go into a black shop, that you go in for one thing and that's all you ever buy? You're not really being sold to or made aware of the range of products that are available? Is that generally the case, you think?
Yeah, I think so. I suppose if I know what I'm getting beforehand, then I'll get that. I don't think anyone's gone out of their way to tell me about extra stuff. They say, it's up. Mm-hmm.
Would you object if they try to sell you other things, even though you know what you want when you went in there?
I would hear them out, whether it depends if I need it or not. I mean, if I needed to be extra, I'd probably just ask them and say, do you have this or that, or I'm making this, what do you suggest? But I don't mind suggestions. Other stores like Superdrugs and stuff do it. So.
Okay. And so my last question here, because I'm just conscious of time now. So if there was a suggestion for our black businesses that you would give them that you think would help their sales, what would your suggestion be?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't.
What could they do differently that would help?
That would help.
Customer service.
Yeah, customer service, maybe promotion.
Promotion. Right, okay.
No, there, but yeah.
Packaging is very, very important. I know a shop in Deptford, although there's always a black man in the front there.
Mm-hmm.
The way they package their whites of the meat, like the pomo, the shaki, and everything, the package is so nice, and it's 3 packs for £5, and the place is so neat. That is the only reason why, no matter where I am, even my friends, I go there and buy this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Packaging is very important.
Yes, it is.
Pack it nicely. It's not. This is food that is going into somebody's belly. Packaging is very important
there should be no excuse from anybody to say, well, it's late in the day.
Yeah.
Because if they were to honestly think about it, they're probably losing quite a lot of meat because of the dryness that it's occurred throughout the day, and just sat there looking at somebody. If I pass a window and I see dry up meat, I'm not going there to buy.
Exactly.
The lady is just
my caller,
body.
Yeah, my caller, I hear that, and that message is loud and clear, and I'm pretty sure each of the butchers will be hearing this feedback because they're all going to watch the recording of this program, and they'll hear that feedback. Can I just go over to Elder Norma? You've been quiet for a few minutes there. I'm just conscious of time now, and I wonder, Elder Norma, what would you take away from this program so far that are sort of key lessons for us all? Elder Norma, can you still hear us? Elder Norma?
At the moment, I'm actually watching you on YouTube because I'm getting a rattling on my phone. So I can actually see you. Okay.
So did you hear my question? Yeah. I'll say my question again. So, what do you think are the sort of key lessons for all business people that they might take away from this program today? What lessons have you heard? I don't know, go on.
More cluster.
Yeah.
More clustering. And also customer service.
Mm-hmm.
And to consumer, if you go to your shop and you get very bad customer service, you think you have, try and find who the owner is. Because remember, sometimes some of these premises might not be the owner. It might be someone working there and just can't be bothered. And so the fact that you probably don't go back. My suggestion is, if you find who the owner is, tell the owner that this is why. And if everybody, quite a few people tell the owner will realise that there is an issue. Yes. Are you with me? It might not be a major issue. I went into one yesterday and I just pointed to the owner that I came in for Afrikan salvage, and when I got home I had cholera. I got cholera. Now, it's only a shock of opening the thing and didn't get what I expected. And she apologised. And that was fine. And, and I'm saying that it's not a major concern, but it's obvious what happened. One person takes the order, somebody else did the serving. Mm-hmm. And that's where the complications come in. Now, I didn't want to take it back, but I just pointed out I had another shop, black food shop as well. I live in Walworth. I let you all guess where. I'm not going to call no names. Mm-hmm. And one lady was serving me, and she looked at the watch and said, "Me finish now."
Oh.
And then I'm standing there, and I said, "But excuse me, can't you just finish off the order?" She said, "No, I'm finished." I said, if I was in Marks and Spencer and somebody was on the till, they wouldn't walk off. You know what she told me? This ain't Marks and Spencer. So
Yeah.
I had to call Jonah to point out to Jonah that if you want your business, I suggest you go back and start putting some order in your shop. Because, and so far I found, I think probably my age as well, they're not that rude, but I've actually sent other people in who come back to me with stories how rude they are.
Right.
And they're having a conversation about the night before,
Wow.
a conversation about the next party, and you probably know what I'm talking about, a
Yeah.
conversation
What
about
shop
their
was
private
that,
life.
Norman?
No, we're not going to call the
I
name.
can't tell you where it is.
Yeah.
It's the but yeah, if you live in Bournemouth, I don't have to tell you. But I send people in there. They come back and say, I said, why is that long? Well, they're talking about what happened last Saturday. They're talking how this happened. They're talking about music. Did you know that Dennis Brown had this song? And customers stand there.
Yeah.
And that's a
I hear you.
conversation. So we need to stop the attitude.
Okay.
So my last final thing is to do with the butchers. This is what I pointed out. If I ask him to debone my meat, I expect him to do it. But if they can suggest I come back later to collect it, that's okay. I do not expect attitudes. No attitudes, please. When I ask you to do something at the butcher's, whether it's coring the top of the meat or, you know what I'm saying, whatever
Yes.
I need doing that I can't do in my house. If
Yeah.
I say, because if you stop any recipe, it says, ask the butchers.
That's true.
So what you do. So
Yeah.
I do not expect, and the old-fashioned English butchers, you wouldn't have had an attitude. But they come back to that point. That's what I'm used to. So I'm looking for the same standard if we have butchers. Otherwise, I go to Morrison. So I'll tell you. So that's
Thank
my
you.
last point.
No, that's fine.
Back
That's
to what
fine.
you want to know is how you treat customers, and they need to be more clutter. And we as consumers should think of investing. Because they might not have the money to have a nice shop front, which people would expect. Not the other things that they would want to do inside the shop, but investments to help them. Because I'm sure the Latin Americans, very few of them are one-man band. They've probably got starting partners that comes into
Elnuma, you've made a really good point. Why
That's
the
my contribution. Thank you.
And Elnuma, I'm going to let you go now. I'm going to say thank you very much for your wise words. Okay, thank you so much. All right. Good day to you, Elnuma. Good day to you. Get it. Can I go to the caller with number ending 6676? Good morning again. Just give us some feedback. What are these sort of advice to our businesses that you would like to communicate with them in maybe no more than a minute or so, please?
I would like for them to appreciate us and to treat us with respect.
Of course, yeah.
Yes, not offhandedly, constantly.
Indeed.
Yeah. Hence, their business will grow. They need to get others in with a bit more experience in different areas. As stated before, in the butchers, you could have somebody there at the till which manage all that section along with selling up of other groceries that are there. Okay? That will be a huge help without a shadow of a doubt. But we need to get more friendly to one another, considering a lot of us have been shopping there for many years.
Customer service, in other words. Customer service, right. Yes.
Yes, not be treated in such an offhanded way. Because we want to support, but sometimes it's the attitude that puts us off.
Thank you. Thank you. I've got you made a series of really key points, and thank you for that. Again, I want to thank you for contributing to the show today, providing useful insights into our experiences. But I think you're all agreeing that we want to support our businesses. Okay, without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. And I believe the Business Association will be a very useful first step to supporting businesses to improve their competencies. Okay.
Could I just quickly say one other thing, a matter of a few words? Could I please ask people listening, yes, if they have, be it children, daughters, sons, whatever the case may be, they know of somebody, yes, that they could come together to organize and learn to do nails, toenails, fingernails, be in false nails, etc. Because 9 out of 10 of our black ladies and children have false nails on, but it's never a black person that's doing it. It's someone that doesn't even speak English. Yeah?
Okay.
And then they get problems and they get upset.
I hear that.
Considering the wealth that they are spending on these things, we are not seeing enough black people putting them on for us.
There you go. Thank you. Thank you, cool. That's a very clear, unambiguous shout out. Okay. And I'm sure the entrepreneurs out there are thinking about what you just said about, oh, okay, that's a market that we haven't fully exploited yet. Okay. Can I thank you for that feedback, and thank you very much for your contribution to the show today. Thank you again.
Thank you.
A pleasure. Can I now go to caller with number ending 3133? And I know you are in business. So what have you taken away from what you've heard today?
Actually, I must thank the very, very last caller for her last statement. Yes, and that is what people like me and my business are working on, to have people in our community doing nails and whatever. And that is why we are converting our business premises at the moment to do. And we are still looking for staffing for the past 4 months to do this. Okay, moving forward.
Can I before you move on, you've been looking for someone with those skills. Do you want to give your telephone number so that someone who has those skills can contact you?
Okay, my telephone number is 07503753133.
Get it one more time, please. Again, slower.
07502753133.
And so if they've got the skills, or they can, you say that could nail, put these nail things on. Lady Chelsea, help me now.
Yeah. And I would like to, I don't know, maybe beg or encourage or whatever, the council, the authority, to encourage more Black people to do businesses intentionally. For so many reasons, I have expressed before in my last speech or whatever I've been saying. And again, please, this African, when we close or they close their shop, there's no point changing it over to the other people, and the other people take continuation, and then we are unable to continue. Okay, stroke East Street, there is no African shop selling our stuff. There are so many traditional stuff that we need to buy, that we have to go to Peckham or Brixton for, which can be sold in a Black or African shop that used to be there. I think there used to be one called A and B. And since A and B closed down, that's it.
Okay. In other words, there's a business opportunity there, which is yet to be taken advantage. Okay.
Yeah, if I want to buy special dry fish,
okay,
there are different. If I want to buy good original pepper soup mix, if I want to buy original fine organic crayfish or bono, where do I get it?
Good point.
And it's been off for a long time. And then it changed over to, I don't know what they are even doing in that shop. That shop is never open. The shop complete right opposite the dry cleaners.
Yes.
Right beside the bus stop on this.
Yes, we know it. We know it.
You know, please encourage, intentionally do it.
Thank you.
Don't be embarrassed.
Thank you. We've got to go now, but thank you, because that was a very useful feedback, very, very useful feedback. And I want to thank you for your contribution to the show today. Very useful insights, you know. And I said, I know that the business people, those who are entrepreneurial, were listening to all of your commentaries, because they know that it's coming from the right place, from the heart, you know. We want to support our businesses. Yeah, brilliant. Thank you for your contribution to the show today. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lady Chelsea, I'm going to give you the closing words.
Okay. Yeah, so thank you for all the callers that called in. I feel like everyone was giving like great advice. I think, you know, for business owners, customer service is the biggest issue. I think all three of them raised. So, you know, people work for yourselves to be professional and not be mannerless, because you wouldn't do it in a store like McDonald's or like Marks and Spencer's. So, you know, be professional. I think also like business courses and stuff to like learn stuff. There's no point in not knowing how to bookkeep, but do hair, because then your business may fail. Yeah, I hope everyone just takes those lessons in and improves.
Absolutely. And let's see if we can bring forward the idea, and the outcome from this show, the idea of a Black Business Association for the London Borough of Southwark. It hasn't got one, so we're long overdue, long overdue. It's quite evident that there's information that we shared that needs to be dispersed amongst the entrepreneurs in the borough. So there's a great deal we can do. But we are, Lady Chelsea, the change makers, yeah? We can make the difference, you know? Determination, steadfastness will enable us to go forward, you know? I mean, people like yourself, Lady Chelsea, who I know is in management and will continue to develop her careers, we want people like yourself to really succeed. Praise be. Time is going now. Good day to you all. Good day to you all. And thank you for all those who called in. And let's hope that this show is the start of bigger and better thing for the business community in the London Borough of Southwark. Praise be.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
There you go. Oh.
Any boy don't want no work. Tear up fitness skirt. Sit down punk on all. Seem like police are get killed. Pregnant woman them are killed. And while we respect them still.